Good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 367. It's Saturday. It's road trip day. I'm wearing my Boys of Zimmer t-shirt from 1989. I think this actually might be an original. Every once in a while, I'll get down an eBay rabbit hole and I'll search for old vintage Cubs t-shirts. And I've only pulled the trigger a couple times. This was one of them. The other was the No Lights at Wrigley shirt that the neighborhood made shirts and pins. And that was a reprint that I bought. And I actually ran into a guy at spring training last year wearing the same shirt. And it's not like, I don't know if I'd ever seen somebody wearing the shirt present day. So I had to we took a picture. His was actually original from 1988, but that was very cool. So my vintage Cubs t-shirt today. What's up, Zach? Good morning. I really don't have much to talk about this morning, but I did want to go live because I skipped the last couple days. Thursday, I skipped just because I wanted to get caught up shipping. I was up at 4:30, which is early for me. I used to wake up 4:30. But now it's like, I don't want to wake up that early anymore. But every once in a while I will wake up early. What's up, Mike? Good morning. Every once in a while I do wake up early, and Thursday was one of those days. I was a zombie all day Thursday. I was a zombie, and I don't know if anybody else is like this, but when when I'm running on empty, like zero sleep, and I'm just kind of like meandering through the day as a zombie, I crave fast food. Normally, I don't crave fast food when I eat fast, and I'm not saying I don't eat fast food because I do, but a lot of times when I eat fast food, it's not like a craving, it's just convenience. It's like, we don't have any food at home, so I'm just going to run through the drive-through. Or I'm driving to Bloomington today. I'm just going to hit a fast food joint along the interstate. But when I'm a zombie, like I was Thursday day, I like craved fast food. So I went through the McDonald's drive-through, which is like the worst you can do. But I craved those fries, and I craved that McDonald's Coke. So I had that Thursday night. Did some more work with the cards, and like, boom, passed out. And I felt so Thursday, as much as a zombie I was like productive. I was a productive zombie. Friday, after a full night's sleep, I was like an unproductive zombie. Like, I was exhausted and had zero energy. At least on Thursday, I had some energy. So it's kind of like that, where they say it's, if you get zero sleep, you're actually okay the first day. It's the second day that knocks you down. And that's what happened yesterday. I'm still kind of exhausted. I slept till 6:30 this morning, 7. I wanted to wake up. I thought I went to bed early last night, like just after 9, I went up to bed. And I thought that going to bed that early, I would wake up super early and be really productive before I hit the road. And that was just not the case. So we'll see. So I'm saving for the coffee, and I'm probably tired because I haven't brewed any coffee. I'm going to do a bottle of water, and then I'm going to do Dunkin' Donuts on my way out of town. So what am I doing today? Today I'm road tripping. I'm going down to Normal, Illinois. Bloomington Normal, the Twin Cities, home of Illinois State University, where I spent more time in my college days than at my regular college. It was like Thursday afternoon, ISU. That's right, Mike. Before I went to Western, I went to Blackhawk College, a junior college, and I would skip my Friday classes, and kids don't do that. Thursday afternoon, my last class at like 1, boom, I'm hitting the road. I'm driving down to Bloomington Normal. Oh, Mike's a Redbird. I didn't realize that. I was this close to going to ISU. I spent a great group of friends What's up, Mike? What's in normal? Mike Sommer is in the house. What's up? I'll be seeing him in just a few hours. I'm talking about how close I actually was, this close a couple of times to actually living in Bloomington normal. So the first was in my college days. I would spend more time at ISU than I would at my junior college at Blackhawk. Take off Thursday afternoon after my last class. I'd skip my Friday classes. I'd spend the whole weekend on Cherry Street. My friends to this day from high school, like we still chat like on a daily basis. We have a group text string and we like text every day. Friends from high school, and let's see, there's four of them. Two of the four went to ISU, one U of I, and the other went to Western. So I would go down to ISU like every weekend, every other weekend. So every other semester it was like my choice when I was at Blackhawk was, talking with my advisor. Okay, what do you want to major in, and where do you want to do your 4-year? One semester would be like, well, I'm having a lot of fun partying at ISU. I want to go to Illinois State. And then the next semester, I'd have another circle of friends. Well, we're going to go to Western. And so it was like rotating. Like every semester, it was either ISU or WIU. So turns out I get a job in radio. And the owner of the radio station had connections with some people at the radio station in Macomb. And it's like, hey, I can get a job right off the bat at a radio station while I'm going to school at WIU. So in the end, I chose WIU. I went to Western. So that was my first. I almost like that's, if I didn't have that connection, I likely would have went to ISU instead. Because I was at ISU like every weekend or every other weekend. I went to Macomb. I went to Western like once a year. Like it was just not really on my radar. It was just, it was convenient. There's a trend here, convenience. So I ended up going to Western. So then fast forward to, I went back. I ended up not going to school out of my junior college days because I got that full-time. I ended up with a full-time job in radio, was the assistant sports director right off the bat, did a morning show. So it's like, I don't want to go to school. I'm having a good time. I'm having fun, making money. Fast forward, I get into my late 20s, and it's kind of that oh shit moment where it's like, I can't make this money the rest of my life. I want to do something different. So I went back to school at Western. I was doing the interview process as as graduation was approaching, and it came down to two jobs. One was the job I'm at right now in Madison, Wisconsin. The other was in Bloomington Normal. It was also in the transportation industry. Ironically, I do contract work for IHSA. I broadcast softball state finals, do some work at the basketball state finals in Peoria. And the office where I interviewed, I plugged it in right next door to the IHSA offices. So before the interview, I text my buddy Matt, who works at the IHSA. I'm like, Matt, I'm interviewing right next door to the IHSA office. He's like, hey, I don't have anything going on. Come over, I'll give you a tour. So toured the IHSA. It's like, this is like, it just felt like it was meant to be. I had always loved Bloomington Normal. It kind of reminds me of Madison, where it's a big city, but it's a small city. Like everything is there. Like you don't have to travel. Like in Macomb, you had to drive an hour and a half to get to a mall or a Best Buy. Just like things we take for granted if you live in a larger city. But Bloomington Normal had all that. And, just from all my years, it was like, it just felt like this is it. And then I had my interview in Madison, and it's like, all of a sudden it's pulling me this way. And when it came down to crunching numbers, the Madison position was much better. Plus I wanted to ultimately live closer to Chicago. And Bloomington was just kind of, it was like, Bloomington would have been a stepping stone to get closer to Chicago. And even though Bloomington is probably the same distance to Chicago as Madison, when I got to Madison, it's like, I think I'm just going to stay here. This is a cool city. Met my wife, and then roots established. So Mike says that's funny because when I was at U of I was spending more time in Normal. So to say, that's awesome. That is awesome. Zach says I call on Heritage Operations Group in Bloomington. I go a couple times a year. Great people. Yeah, it's a great city, and I still have I have a lot of acquaintances, I would say, in that area still, from like my college days. How a radio job interview works? Well, you work for us almost next to nothing. Yes, you're hired. Yeah, and when you're 20, 21 years old, and when it came down to like my interview in radio with Macomb, was at the time the St. Louis Rams training camp was in Macomb, and so like that was a huge like for me. I wanted to go into sports like that's what I want, sports broadcasting. And so right off the bat, I started in April of 2003. It's a university town, Division I. It's low major, but Division I college, university. And at the time in NFL training camp, it was like, this is, I would go from covering a high school football game to covering a college football game to working in NFL training camp in like a 2-day period. It was awesome. And that only lasted 2 years. And then they pulled out of Macomb in, I think, 2005. And then, of course, they left St. Louis altogether a few years later. But those 2 years, was covering an NFL team as a early 20s. In my early 20s was pretty awesome. Mike says, if I lived here, I can only imagine the hijinks we'd find. Is what was the bar we always went? Fat Jack's? Is Fat Jack still around? I think that was one of the bars we went. We didn't do many bars. We did more house parties in my college days. Cherry Street was like, that's I don't know if I ever left Cherry Street. That's where we were always at, and that's where my friends lived until they got to their junior, senior year. And then it was kind of like leave Cherry Street and we've got to graduate. We've got to get away from Cherry Street. Let's graduate. So I'm going to head down. I'm going to see Mike. This morning I've been building a trade pile for Mike. Actually, I don't want Mike to see it. A sneak preview. I've got a small pile for Mike here. Found some other stuff. Mike likes the oddballs, so I've got some other things. And then Dan is going to stop by, so I'm building a stack of Cardinals. I've got to put a box. I'm going to put a box of Cardinals together for Dan. So I'm going to bring my Cubs cardometer. I've got to get it cleaned up because Mike, I think I'm going to hit my goal today. My 2021 goal was 700,000. And I'm over 670,000 right now. So we could be really close to hitting that goal on September 18th, which would be the earliest that my goal has been reached for the project since 2000, dating back to first full year of 2018. So 1 year I didn't even make the goal. I didn't even hit my goal. But this last year I hit my goal like September 30th, 29th, like toward the end of September, because I went into the fourth quarter, just kind of on cruise. Like I'm going to focus on eBay and not on trades. This year I've done a lot of big trades, which has helped me get to that goal, which is kind of what I want. Starting last year is kind of what I wanted to do, is focus on bigger trades and bigger buys, because it can get me closer. Plus I'm not spending as much time, and most of my cards are like totally disorganized. Like, well, those are all Cubs. Inside those, even though they're all Cubs, they're disorganized. So there's like no organization in this room whatsoever. So it's hard for me to do, especially smaller trades. It's just really hard for me to do small trades, unless it's like if I show something on Twitter or Topps Pro Debut, something I recently opened, because those cards are typically right there for me. And if we've traded in the past, I kind of know, like Zach, I know to pull Frank Tom when I'm at a card show. Like I bet every card show I've been to, I've pulled stuff for Zach because I know because it's easy. It's Frank Thomas, Tim Anderson, some White Sox, good to go. And actually Cardinals too. Cardinals are pretty easy because I've got a few Cardinal trading partners. So Cardinals are easy also. Zach says go to Swingers Bar, golf place, but sounds like something else. Nice. I've got to do some yard work before I head to the shop. See you later this afternoon. Sounds good. ETA about 1 o'clock, I think. So yeah, 9. Yeah, because I'm going to leave here about 9, but I'm going to stop, get some Dunkin' Donuts. I think it's a 3.5 hour drive. So that's what I'm up to today. Let's see. Next week is the Madison Card Show. I am super. My week was made yesterday because we've got a new vendor coming in for our show next Saturday. His name's Mark. He's from Iowa. We actually met Mike. Mike, you know him. He sets up at your card show. I know he was there. He was not there last. Well, when was I there? August. I was at the August show. So Mark was not there in August, but he was there in like the June show. So Mark's going to be at our show next week, which I am stoked. I met him at Mike and John's show in Rockford in June. He does the mall show. Okay. I met him in June, gave him my card. We had actually been on his radar. It just didn't work for him. The dates that we have did not work. And I'm like, bummer. He has 3 tables with like amazing stuff, vintage slabs. He has a complete set of 86, 87 basketball, the Michael Jordan rookie year. Just awesome stuff. So I am stoked that he's coming to our show next Saturday. I think we're already up to 5 new vendors that have not done our show. So it's gonna be a fantastic show. I'm really excited about the vendors, and I think we're gonna get even more people out based on what we've done the last couple months. So I'm really excited. I think we're gonna have close to, if not more than we've ever had. It's going to be hard to top our biggest month as far as vendor space was like in June. I think we had 48 tables, which we had to bring a couple, like we had to get creative because we had a couple that were not accounted for in our final count that we venue. So we're gonna have to really buckle down, get confirmations this week so I can get the room, because we've got a lot of, we're doing discounts on tables for the first time, which we should have done a long time ago, but we just really wanted to get things rolling. Like, okay, you've been paying, say, our always been $50 each. So you pay $100 for 2 tables, but now, somebody's done 2 tables for 5 months or 4 months. Now it's like, hey, thanks for coming out. 2 tables for $80, and it's, you're not discounting early. You want to, it's just kind of like a sales and marketing tactic. So, so we're doing the discount 2 for $80, 3 for $100. So we've got a lot of different setups now, where in the past it's been, only a couple times we had somebody with 3 tables, and then we'll have, basically half of the vendors have 2 tables, half the vendors have 1 table. So it's pretty easy. But now we've got to get creative, because now there's multiple vendors with 3 tables, more vendors with 2 tables. So I've got to, make sure the venue gets it set up. Okay, we want the 3 tables here. I do 4 tables back in my area for the bargain boxes. So just have to make sure, because what I ran into a couple months ago is I get to the venue early, and to move tables around, it's okay, but they've been mixing the tables up. So some tables are just the one table, but some they push two like narrow tables together. So it's not easy. And it takes a lot of time. and I've been having to arrive earlier and earlier to make sure the layout is how we want it, and that I don't want to do that, because eventually I'm going to have to end up going on Friday night and like making sure, okay, here. I don't want to do that. I will do that, but I don't want to do that. So, I actually may, because Johnny's out of town this week, so I'm flying solo running the show. So I may actually have to go Friday night just to make sure it's set up to how we want it. So I'm stoked. It's going to be a fun show. Johnny and I and one of our other vendors were chatting last night, and I'm like, I'm a buyer. Like usually I go and I'm like, I'm either a buyer or I'm a seller. The last couple of shows, it's just kind of been up in the air because I've been buying so much because I was doing a show. I think I did five shows in 6 weekends. So now it's been a few weeks without a show. It's like, okay, I'm not a buyer, but I'm not a seller, but I'm more like, I'm not focused on, okay, this is a sell only month. Or this is a buy only month. I'm just going to take it if there's some deals coming my way. If somebody has like bulk boxes, bargain boxes that they want to sell, I'm definitely a buyer on whole boxes. Bulk, I'm buying bulk. And I should actually bring my whiteboard to say I'm buying bulk. So I'm excited. It's gonna be a really fun one next Saturday, the 25th. 9 to 3. The one concern I have, which hopefully it shouldn't be too bad, is we're competing with the Notre Dame Wisconsin football game, which is not in town. I mean, I looked at the schedule. None of our shows are on the same weekend as a home game because that would be disastrous. If you've ever come through, if you've ever been to a Wisconsin game on game day, especially where we're at that exit, it would be a disaster. So the game's in Chicago, but it's still on. I think it's an 11 o'clock kickoff, so it'll be going the duration of our show. So that could be that may take a few people that are going to the game away, or they want to watch the game. I would like to try to find like try to set up a TV or something just to have it on in the background. I've noticed like at these events, like most people aren't gonna watch. It's kind of background, but it's kind of nice. You can see the score, but we also have smartphones, so it's like if you want to see the score, you just pull your phone out, look up on the ESPN app or whatever app you have, and it's like, and then you put your phone away and check 10 minutes later. So we'll see. I'm just gonna confirm your availability next week, maybe, and going to Beer Fest in Verona. Excellent. I was supposed to go. This is funny. Mike spends more time in Madison at all these festivals than I do, and I live here. I was supposed to go. I've never been to Verona Beer Fest. I was supposed to go a few years ago. We had tickets, and I can't remember. We had 4 tickets, and we were going to go, and for whatever reason, we didn't. My wife doesn't drink, so it's kind of like I have to find buddies to go with, which isn't hard, especially here's tickets to Beer Fest. Of course, yes, I'll go. So I will. I've never been to Beer Fest. I've never been to the Taste. A lot of things. I'm missing out on a lot of what Madison has to offer. So that's next weekend. Super excited about that. I was looking at Topps Heritage Miners. Topps Heritage Miners has been. Before I get into Topps Heritage Miners, Mike, is that at Wisconsin Distributors, or not? Wisconsin Distributors is a distributor. Wisconsin Brewing Company down there. I can't remember where the beer fest is, or is it like actually at a park or like in town? I actually live in Verona. Well, I don't live in Verona. I have a Verona address. I live a few miles north of Verona, kind of in no man's land, where it's like, here, this lot's Middleton, this lot's Madison, this lot's Verona. But I actually ride my bike into Verona. I kind of go around, but it's like a 5-mile ride. But cool. I don't know if you've been to Hop House. It's a brewery right in downtown Middleton. done trivia there. I'll ride my bike. In the summer I rode my bike there a couple times just to have a beer or two and a burger. Actually, I don't think they have burgers, chicken wings. But they have some good beer. They have a beer called, I think it's called Sweet Sunglasses. It's a good. The reason I first found it a few years ago is because the marketing of it was, it's the perfect lawn mowing beer, and that's a good. I love. I'm a big summertime day drinker. Like, I've got some yard work to do. I'm gonna drink some beer, but it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The sun's beating down. It's 90 degrees. You don't want to be drinking a thick, heavy craft beer, especially when you're going to be out there, for a few hours. You want a marathon beer. You want a light beer with a low ABV. And so Sweet Sunglasses was perfect. 312 is actually the perfect lawn beer because it's only like 4.2%. It's like one of the lowest ABVs, but it's good. It's a really good beer. I'm a big Goose Island fan. So 312 is kind of one of my go-tos if I'm out in the lawn. Bud Light obviously is always a good standby as well. Hometown USA Community Park. Okay, so it's actually in town. I think there's a few parks in Verona. I'm not sure which park that is, but okay, so it's somewhere in the town. So Topps Heritage Miners comes out in October, so about a month away. Heritage Miners is one of my favorite products. It was the very first case I remember back when I kind of first got back into cards. And I was buying boxes, and it's like, I want a case. I want to buy a case. That was like my bucket list. Oh, by the ice arena. Okay. Yep. Okay. I know where that's at. So my first case was a 2015 Heritage Miners. And ever since I bought a case, last year was the only year I didn't and the reason was the prices, obviously, with everything wax, just wasn't worth it. So the thing is, with some of these now Bowman at like even $300, it's like, I'm not going to buy a box because the singles prices don't reflect the box prices. But now they started, in 2018 and 19, when Bowman jacked up their prices, long before COVID, the singles prices didn't reflect. Like, you would still pull a $5 auto, but now you're paying $150 for a box, and then it was $200, $250, and now it's over $300. But now there's still. I pulled and I actually just sold it on eBay this week. It was a pitcher auto. It was a first Bowman pitcher auto, Sandy Gaston, I think, from the Marlins, and I sold it for $16, and it came out of a $300 box. Now I pulled some other stuff. When I bought 3 boxes, that was definitely the dud. But if you only buy one box at $300 and you pull a $16 Sandy Gaston, now that's $16 minus shipping, minus fees. So you're looking at like a $10 card. So the prices on singles just didn't reflect the box prices. And that's kind of what happened with Heritage Miners. I mean, my first case of Heritage Miners was like $400 retail, $400. Now that was in 2015. Things have come a long way, pricing and everything. But really, the prices of singles and you can get some really good hits. I think it was 2017. I pulled an Acuna auto numbered to 25. I pulled a base Acuna auto, but still, even the number to 25, it sold for $120, $125. So you can pull some monster autos, but they're not like monster resale prices. But again, remember, you're paying $40 to $50 for a box. If you pull a $125 card, that's really dang good. So I skipped 2020. I bought a single hobby box at my local card shop, and I think I paid $60. I think online I could have paid like $55, and I think after tax it was like $63. So, and that was just support your local card shop, and I want to buy a box just because I love the product. So this year I'm looking at the specs, and for some reason they've done away with relics this year, and I'm sure it's because of the printing backlogs. which benefits us, the consumer, because now we're not getting those garbage relics. And it started with Pro Debut. You get the autos. What was it? 4 autos per box, and it used to be 2 and 2, 2 relics, 2 autos. Topps Heritage Miners used to be 1 auto, 1 relic per box. This year it's 2 autos. So I think the case price on Blowout $680, which comes out to be, I think, $57 a box. Which, hey, that's about what it was last year. It's less than what I paid for my local card shop, and you're getting twice the amount of autos, and you don't have to deal with the stupid relics, because those relics are garbage. They're dollar bin stuff. Like, the best, I think I pulled a Joey Bart relic numbered to 50, and I think it was like a $10 card. And the autos, the autos aren't much, to write home about either, but again, it's a fun rip. So I'm in for at least 1 case. I'll probably buy 2 cases. I'll do singles. I might list them in lots like I did with Pro Debut, because I had a lot of success selling, and it's also a lot easier than, say, you have 12 singles. You're not here 99 cents here, 99 cents there. So I think I'm going to do the lot. I'm actually doing that. I've been sorting some 2019 Heritage Miners. That was the last time I bought a case. So I've actually been sorting some 2019 to do player lots. So probably this weekend, probably Sunday, I'll get those listed. I don't think I'm going to hit my goal of 6,000 listings. My goal was 6,000 listings. Here we are on September 18th, and it's like I'll put 200 exchange, and then a few days goes by, and I'm selling 200 cards. So I'm back down to like 3,850 listings. When I do the Heritage Miners, that'll put me like another 200. That'll put me over 4,000. So, I mean, I think realistically by October 1st, I'm going to be at 4,500 if I really buckle down and get some listings up. Because next week, I'm going to be slowed down because of card show prep, which I don't really have. I would like to get, the only card show prep I really have to do is I would like to add dollar cards, because I sold a dollar box just outright, which I'd like to do that again. That was fun. So I'd like to put in, a dollar box. I've got plenty of top loaders. It was awesome. So I've got top loaders. I even have those semi-rigids that I found at Walmart. So I'm going to try to get some dollar boxes this week. So I think my file exchange updates, my listings are really going to be on the back burner at least for another week after I get these 2019 Heritage Miners up. Speaking of Walmart, man, I think it was in Sterling, Illinois, there was a picture of Walmart with, it was stock day. Holy cow. Like, it was amazing. It was amazing. And there was Bowman. I love Bowman. I would go buy, and it's like I would go out of my way to buy a bunch of Bowman blasters just because I miss it. Actually, I'd probably set them aside and just leave them sealed. So I may hit up a Walmart or 2 on my drive today just to scope it out. I went to a Walmart, the nearest Walmart to me yesterday after work. My buddy Ryan, ripping one-handed, he was there in the morning, and they had a bunch of stuff. He pulled 2 freaking awesome autos, like a Jose Canseco number to 25 auto out of Topps Chrome, and then out of his Panini Prism Blaster, he pulled like a rookie auto of somebody, Mountcastle maybe. Just like, that was some crazy luck. So I went there after work, and it was cleared out. I don't know if they had them at customer service or not. I didn't check. I was going to go to the other Walmart, but it was after work, rush hour. I didn't want to deal with traffic, so I just went home. So I may stop at 1 or 2 Walmarts just to see. What's up, Diego? Good morning. Goose Island showing the Sox love. So that's what I had. I have some more cards to pull for Mike and Dan. I'll tweet out some pictures today from Mike's card shop. I'm excited. And I haven't been to Bloomington Normal in a few years. I think the last time I went to Bloomington Normal was I broadcasted. What a fail! I broadcasted some volleyball state finals, and I've done maybe 10 volleyball broadcasts in my entire career. It was I was solo. I told my buddy at the IHSA, I said, Matt, I'm sorry, this just isn't for me. I don't want to. I don't want to broadcast anymore volleyball. It's good money, but I'm not gonna put my name to a really terrible broadcast. Does the Dennis McKinnon auto in your store count? That has been listed for a while. Yes, it has. That's been up there for over a year probably, because I remember where that came from. That came in a like a small collection that I purchased last summer, like in the middle of COVID. And actually, we met in Rockford. I can't remember his name. He reached out to me, I think via email, and he was on the trading card database message board, and somebody directed him to me. He sent me an email. We met up. I paid like $100, and there was some really good stuff. There was some cool stuff. Like it was like $100. It was a perfect $100 sale, because for him it was $100, but it wasn't like $1,000 worth of cards. There's a few $100, but you had to grind to get there. It wasn't like I made $300 on like one easy transaction. I had to put some grind. I had to list a Dennis McKinnon auto that's going to sit in my store for eternity. But there was some good Cubs stuff in there that I was able to keep for my own collection. So it was good stuff. But yeah, Dennis, there was one other Bears. There were two Dennis, and I think they're also personalized because they were from his like collection as a kid. There were two Dennis McKinnon, and there were two, I don't think it was Maury. I think it was another 85 Bear. I can't remember. It's probably also in my eBay store. I don't know. So that's what I have for today. I've got to get going. Thanks for tuning in. Great chat. Follow me on Twitter at 1 Million Cubs. I'll be updating my road trip today if I hit a Walmart, and then once I get to Verona later today. So have a great Saturday, and I'll probably go live again tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday, so I'll go live tomorrow. I've been teasing some news. So just to get that out of the way, yes, there is news coming. I will share it. I don't really have a date on when I'm going to share that news, but I do have some news to share. At the earliest, it'll be like the end of this week, but it'll probably be maybe the following week. So still up in the air, but some exciting stuff in the pipeline. I'll be telling you about that here in the next couple weeks. So definitely by October 1st. So within the next 2 weeks, I'll have some fun stuff to talk about. So thanks for tuning in. Have a great Saturday. We'll chat tomorrow.